Okay, Shajoti, this is your session. Welcome to our program. There are lots of children waiting for your speech to get more idea how to get the scholarships and award. So the floor is for you. Thank you.
Okay. Well, assalamu alaikum, everybody. My name's Shejuti, or Sophia Shejuti. So I'm from Edmonton, Alberta, and I finished grade 12 at Ross Shepherd High School. I did all of my high school there. And now I'm a first-year engineering student at the University of Alberta. So right now I'm a general engineering student for first year. And I was a recipient of the Schulich Leader Scholarship from U of A Engineering, and I was one of 3 from all of Canada. So there's 3 University of Alberta Engineering Schulich recipients for my graduating class from all across Alberta. Yeah, so should I just go through some of the questions that were given to me, or are we going to go straight into the Q&A portion?
So my request will be share your experience. How did you apply? And just, when you apply and what are the process, then maybe they are going to ask some questions. Or you can ask some questions by yourself and you can answer, whichever you feel comfort.
Okay. So Schulich Leader application process will be in around January of your grade 12 year of school. But it's good to get a head start before that because that's when the application process happens. The nomination process is a little bit earlier. So basically, when it's time for Schulich Leader nominations to go out, your school will probably send out a Google form and say anyone who's interested in being a Schulich Leader nominee, please fill out the Google form, and it'll usually be you have to write a short essay or attach a cover letter. Sorry, not cover letter, a resume with your achievements and so on. And then from there, the person in charge of scholarships at your school, so in my case, it was like a school counselor, they go through the applications from within the school and they pick one nominee because only one person can be nominated per school. So from my high school, I was the nominee. Doesn't necessarily mean, if you're nominated, doesn't necessarily mean you're going to win. It just means you go on to the next stage. So that is done, I think, a bit before the application process, more in like December, but it depends on the school. And then schools usually have their own criteria for selecting a nominee, but it's usually has to do with academic excellence, leadership qualities, interest in STEM, community involvement. The school criteria for selecting a nominee will be similar to the Schulich Leader criteria for selecting a Schulich Leader, because obviously your school is going to pick the person who has the best chance of winning. So there are no specific academic achievements or prerequisites required for the nomination. So there's not a certain average or GPA you need to have to be chosen. Overall, try to do your best in school and do your best to get grades, but it's not like you need a 95% average or a 98% average, because Schulich Leader scholarships don't always go to the student with the highest averages, but also, don't be like a C average, D average student, like try to do your best. And for documentations that you need to gather for the applications, it's really only your detailed academic report, because you won't have your full transcript then, because you'll still be halfway through grade 12, and 2 reference letters from people that aren't friends or family who personally know you. And how I asked my references to write letters for me was through email. I just sent them an email. And this can be like a teacher, a principal, a coach, just someone who knows you well and can speak to your abilities. And then how I highlighted my leadership experiences and qualities. Basically, you're going to be asked to pick the 3 biggest or most important achievements and talk about them a little bit. And then you're going to have an essay section, a short essay, and then you can expand on it there. So it's not like for the for the actual Schulich leader application, like if you're nominated when you do the application, you don't have to like write about every single achievement and document your hours and everything. You pick 3 and then you just write about those. And for the Schulich Award specifically, you didn't need to put any hours, but you need to make sure that everything you say that you did is truthful and accurate, because they will verify it, and you obviously don't want to lie about what you have and have not done. For other scholarships, they may ask about hours, like for the Loran scholarship, that's another big one. They do have like a section where you need to put in your hours, and so does the TV scholarship, which is another big scholarship. So I would recommend recording your hours. I would recommend recording your hours to the best of your abilities. Sorry, there's a question here. I'm just going to answer it really quick. If you're in first year engineering, can you still apply for the Schulich leader? No, you can't. Schulich leader is only open to grade 12 students who are graduating. And I probably should explain this before, but there's 3 at the University of Alberta. There's 3 Schulich leader awards for people in the sciences. So if you're pursuing biology, chemistry, computer science, animal sciences, you can win one of the scholarships, one of 3. And then for engineering, there's one of 3. So in total, there's 6 Schulich Leader scholarships per year from the University of Alberta, and from other schools as well, but there's different amounts. I know that U of T, University of Toronto, has, I think, 10 total. I'm not sure. And then some of the smaller ones have like 2 total. U of A has 6 total. So 3 for engineering, 3 for the sciences. And within the sciences, it can be any degree. So yeah, it is for students who are in grade 12 going to go into university the following year. And then, were there any particular courses or subjects that you believe contributed to your nomination? So Schulich is a STEM scholarship, so interest in sciences, math, and technology is favored, but they don't really look at your specific subjects you took. So they're not going to look at your transcript and be like, oh, this person didn't took chemistry and physics, but they didn't take biology. We're not going to consider them. It's not really like that. It's more, so when you're picking subjects in high school, pick based off of what you want to study in university. And what interests you, because they're not going to look through every course in your transcript, from what I know. And then the leadership experiences and projects that I discussed in my application was I won a competition in junior high, and I got to send an experiment that I designed to the International Space Station. So I talked about that. I talked about me being a member and project lead on the Wisest Youth Council. So it's like a group of girls who Wisest is a branch of the University of Alberta organizations, and it's a group of young women, and we create projects for women across Alberta. So I was a member of that and a project lead of that. And then I talked about my involvement with violin. So I've been part of a program for many, many years, and I went back and I volunteered there, and I kind of grew as not just a musician, but as a person because of violin. So I talked about that. And so this is what I specifically talked about. When you are picking what leadership experiences and projects you want to choose, pick ones that interest you, that you have a passion for, and not necessarily ones that you think are going to get you picked for the scholarship, because the judges are seasoned professionals. Like, they can tell when someone is listing things because they want to show that they have an interest in STEM or whatever, or when someone is sharing experiences and projects that they're truly passionate about. So this doesn't mean you have to go and learn an instrument and do something with that. And doesn't mean you have to go join a council and do that either, because there's really no mold for a Schulich leader. Like, we all do very different things. Like, even within engineering, the other 2 Schulich leaders who I've talked to, we've all done we have different interests. We've done different projects and had different experiences. Like one of the other Schulich leaders is very like robotics focused. And one of the science Schulich leaders, he's very like calculations with Rubik's Cube and stuff focused. Like that's just an example of like everyone has different interests. So do what interests you, but these were just the 3 specific ones that I talked about. And there weren't any particular clubs in school that I really think specifically made me stand out. Again, just do what you're interested in, join clubs that you're interested in, instead of joining something so you can put it on your resume or because you want to hit a certain number of volunteer hours. So how did you prepare for the scholarship interview? There was no interview for the Schulich Leader scholarship. It was just the written application and your reference letters. But I do know for other big scholarships, there are interviews. And the best way to prepare for that is to do mock interviews. Like sometimes they'll give you like questions that they may ask. So practice that with your mom or your dad or your sibling. And then advice for building a strong application package would be, again, make sure the 3 things you pick represent you and your interests. You don't have to play an instrument. You don't have to be super into robotics. You don't have to memorize how to do a Rubik's Cube blindfolded. Pick what represents you. And your essay section is not super long. So think about what is essential to include and what can be taken out. What are the other scholarships? So there's many scholarships, but the 2 that I was referring to was the Loran Scholarship and the TD Community Leader Scholarship. So what we call the 3 big scholarships are the Schulich Leader Scholarship, the Loran Scholarship, and the TD Scholarship. But there's also a lot of small ones that you can find by Googling it, or there's entrance scholarships. So like from the U of A, when I applied, because of my high grades, I automatically got a few scholarships. So those aren't really application based. So whatever university you're going to, look for entrance based scholarships and look into TD, Loran, Schulich. But I can only talk about Schulich because I didn't win TD or Loran, I won Schulich. Where did you get your recommendation letters? So I asked.
Okay, sister, you can stop there. Okay, Jazakallah khairan kathira. Your petition was very good, alhamdulillah.
Sorry, I think someone's microphone is on.
No,
Okay. So for my recommendation letters, I asked one of my teachers, and I asked my violin teacher. Other than that, your recommendation letters, again, it can be from a teacher, a former teacher, a principal, a coach. Yeah. How would you say that we should format our essay? Again, that really depends on the person. There's really no specific way to format them. Just talk about your experiences and yourself. And yeah, there's no specific format or formula to follow because everyone kind of writes essays in different ways, but just take this as an opportunity to share with the board who's choosing who gets the scholarship or not, who you are, what you've done, how you think that, yeah, who you are, what you've done, etc. Were there any unique or creative elements in your application that you believe made a difference? Again, like I've said this before, I think I chose to pursue things that I was interested in. And I think that interest and genuineness showed in my application. I never did anything that I wasn't really interested in just because I wanted it on my resume, because then I would not only feel like it was boring and not really enjoy it, but I wouldn't be able to talk about it with as much passion as for things that I'm interested in. So any unique or creative elements would be, again, write about and pursue things that you're interested in, not what you think you need to be interested in. How did you stay organized throughout the scholarship application process? So it was difficult because it does take a lot of practice. I would say the best things to do is check deadlines frequently and put them in your calendar, whether that's like a Google Calendar or physical calendar, and set aside a block of time each week or every 2 weeks, or if you want to do it less frequently, like every month, to just work on scholarships. Because with school and everything else you may be doing, it's going to be hard to find that balance. So you need to set aside time to do that. And also check your emails frequently, because you'll get emails from scholarships pretty often about deadlines and things to do. So check your emails. So there's a question here. Previously, do you have other scholarship winning records? Yes. So let me actually pull some of them up. So Schulich leader was the big one. And then within Edmonton Public Schools, 3 high school students from every high school, a grade 12 student is nominated for the Michael A. Strembinski Award of Excellence. And from all of the nominees, 3 students are chosen to win. So there's a gold medal, a silver medal, and a bronze medal. I, alhamdulillah, was blessed enough to win the silver medal for the Michael A. Strembinski Award of Excellence. So you get a plaque and like a scholarship cash prize for that. And then I also won the Premier Citizen Scholarship. That has no, that one doesn't have monetary value, but it's a good thing. It's more of an honor, like the title. And how much is the cash prize? So I think for first place it was 2,000, like gold was 2,000, silver was 1,500, and bronze was 1,000. And then so again, out of every high school, 1 grade 12 student can be nominated for the Citizen Alberta Premier Citizenship Award. So I won from my high school. And then from that pool, there's 2 more awards that people can win. You don't hear about that until after, so I don't know if I won or not. And then within the University of Alberta, if you choose to go to a different university, they'll have different awards from there. But from University of Alberta, I won a few entrance scholarships, so that's just based on grades. I got the Faculty of Engineering Gold Standard Scholarship for being within the top 5% academically in my faculty, and then the University of Alberta Gold Standard Scholarship, which is top 5% in all applicants at the University of Alberta. And then for engineering specifically, I won a Dean's Entrance Citation in Engineering Award, and then another Engineering Entrance Award. So I think those are all. Okay, so we covered organization, and then did you receive any guidance on how to express your passion for STEM fields? Not really. Like for me, I kind of just had to figure it out on my own, and I kind of expressed my passion. And I kind of expressed my passion through like a personal lens, rather than having someone tell me how to express it. So when you're doing your applications, talk about your passions, how you want to share them, and not necessarily how like a teacher or a guidance counselor tells you to share them. Obviously, like take advice. Like if you're giving constructive criticism, take it, but no one can really tell you how to express your passions. You have to figure that out on your own. How did you get information about the scholarship? Google Friends, parents? I think it was because when I was in grade 11, no. Because sometimes schools will talk about it. So I think when I was in, like, for example, if you're in grade 11, you might hear your school talking about Schulich and Loran and TD for the current grade 12s. So I think I kind of heard about it like that. But also Google, you just have to look stuff up. because schools won't always say what's going on. I actually didn't hear about Schulich. I heard about Loran, which is another one of the, I heard about the Loran scholarship because a girl, I think a year or two older than me in my school, won that scholarship. So then after I heard about Loran, then TD and Schulich are kind of connected because they're the three big ones. That's why I figured out about it. Yes, I also received the University of Toronto Book Award. So one student from each graduating class, I don't know if it's all across Canada, but at least I think it is. I think in Canada, like one student from each graduating class gets a U of T Book Award, and that's for academic excellence, interest in learning, and you get a little history book with your name in it. So what advice would you give to other students aiming for the Schulich Leader Scholarship? This answer is kind of going to be cumulative of what I've said before, but there is no mold for a Schulich Leader. Yes, we all are interested in STEM, but we express that interest in different ways. We do different things. So pursue and study what you find interesting, not what you think a Schulich Leader would find interesting. And remember that out of every high school student in Canada, only 100 get the scholarship total, and the pool is going to be even smaller per university. So from U of A, which was where I applied, they make offers. So U of A only offers 6 scholarships and only 3 for engineering. So you'll miss out on opportunities if you judge them solely based on, oh, is this going to get me the Schulich Leader Scholarship? So there are many other scholarships out there that you may fit the criteria for. So as you're going through high school, try to figure out what you want to study in university and whatsoever, and keep scholarships in mind, but don't base every decision off of that. Are there any specific resources, mentors, or experiences that you credit for your success in securing the scholarship? I don't think there's any specific credit, like obviously, alhamdulillah, Allah is always with us. That's number one. But specifically resources, mentors, or experiences, not really a specific one. It's cumulative of years of work. So kind of just everything combined together. Did you apply for multiple scholarships simultaneously, and how did you manage the workload? I did apply for multiple scholarships at the same time. And again, you just really need to be organized and have deadlines in your calendar and so on. Set aside time to work on scholarships. Can you recommend any specific strategies for networking with other scholarship recipients or students in STEM fields? It is honestly difficult to network with other scholarship recipients as a high school student. But first, try to see if anyone in your school from previous years has won any big scholarships. For me personally, I was the first person in my school's history to win Schulich, so that didn't really work for me. But I do know one of the other Schulich Leader recipients, like multiple people from his school have won before. So like he was able to talk to them and stuff. Sometimes people are busy, so if you reach out to someone and it doesn't work out, don't get discouraged, but try to look within your school first. Other than that, for meeting other students in STEM fields, sometimes universities and organizations do like networking events for meeting upper years, especially when it's university application time, like around this time, fall. If you're in grade 12 right now, the fall, universities will always hold events, so try to sign up for those to network. How do you balance your academic responsibilities with your leadership and extracurricular activities? It takes practice. It takes a really long time. All throughout high school was a learning process on how to balance everything. And even now that I'm in university, I'm still working on it and getting better. So you have to be patient with yourself. Make sure to take breaks and also enjoy your high school years, because with all of your hard work and your efforts, if you don't hang out with your friends once in a while, and if you don't enjoy your high school years, you're gonna get burnt out. And it's better to do, so this is like, I think one big takeaway, it's better to do less and be okay than do too much and do a bad job at everything. So there were many, like there's many people out there whose resumes are 3 times longer than mine, who do 4,000 things more than I do. But more doesn't always mean better. So be honest with yourself and be honest with how much you can take on. And don't take on more than you can do, because then you're going to do everything bad, and there's no benefit to that. So yeah, it takes time to find balance and be patient with yourself. Okay, that's all of the points that I had to say and questions that I had to answer. Yeah.
Thank you, Shajiti. Let's see now the question session. Though some parents or students, they write the question there, but they can unmute and they can ask the questions, or they can write the questions also. And thank you very much to share your experience. Maybe when they have question, maybe they're prepared. I would like to ask one question. The thing
Okay.
is that, the most of the students, they think this is very, very hard, very
Pardon?
hard. The students, they think, most of the students,
Yeah.
they are not motivated to apply. They think this is very hard, very difficult to apply to get, and I'm not capable to get it.
Mm-hmm.
So how are we going to motivate them?
When I was applying, I didn't think I was gonna get it. I was like, okay, I'm just gonna get this application done. Like, I got nominated for my school. I have to do a good job. I'm representing my school and my graduating class. So everyone thinks like that. But if you don't take the opportunities, you never know what's gonna happen. Because alhamdulillah, I did win. And that was because I took the opportunity. And a lot of it is you have to find your internal motivation. Like your mom and your dad aren't always gonna be like, go work on your scholarship application right now, go do this, go do that. Like, alhamdulillah, my baba are very supportive, but they gave me the space to do everything on my own. Like, they were never like, you need to do this, you need to do that, make sure you do that. I had to, I had that motivation from within me that I want to, if I'm going to university, I want to do my best, and I want to make sure I'm prepared going into there. And part of that comes with getting scholarships as much as I can. And that's going to be also very important when you get into university, because no one's going to be telling you to do anything. You have to do everything on your own. So that's good practice. And you will be tired sometimes. Like if you're applying for lots of scholarships, it'll be like, oh, like I'm not winning any, like what's the point of this? But like inshallah, everything works out. And you just got to have faith, and you have to keep going. Can you list the biggest components that one should focus on to find success in the scholarships? How should I approach or prepare? Okay, so if you're talking about the Schulich scholarship in general, there's really no secret formula or secret recipe. It's really just stay organized, because your grade 12 year will go fast. So like before you know, it's going to be January, and it's going to be application process. So but I will say that because schools usually have multiple people applying to be nominated from the school, and only one person can be chosen, just keep that in mind and try to apply for other scholarships as well, because it's just always good to have backup plans, and just try to stay organized. And yes, get good grades, like focus on your grades, but Schulich looks at more than that. They also look at your character, and they look at the other things you have done outside of school. Yes, Samiha Sajida, that is my sister. Yeah, you have nothing to lose by applying. It's free. Sometimes it is time consuming and it may feel overwhelming, but just if you do a little bit each week or a little bit each day for scholarships, then that's how you get it done.
Excellent point, Sister Samiha. Your sister, I know she's in Ireland for medical program. That is the key. You're not losing anything. you are getting experience. Honestly, the students who apply 5 or 10, definitely they will get one, at least one. And
Yeah.
the students who don't apply, how could they get? So I think that key point to apply, and try. Hope maybe you're not getting in first year or second year, maybe in the masters, it will helpful.
Yeah, like I didn't get every scholarship I applied to, and that's okay. And motivation was low sometimes, like, like I'm putting in so much work, it's not working, but you just got to keep going. And if it doesn't happen in grade 12, it'll happen in first year. Like you can still apply for scholarships throughout university. I think someone asked earlier if you could apply for Schulich if you're in first year. You can't apply for Schulich if you're already in first year, but you can apply for other scholarships, I'm sure. There's tons out there. And then again, in masters, if you want to apply for scholarships, then go ahead. So someone asked, I'm in grade 9. When do you think I should start applying for scholarships? Honestly, most of the scholarships are applicable to grade 12 students, but there are some in grade 10 and 11. So I'm not sure if there's any scholarships in grade 9. I don't remember applying to anything in grade 9, just because but still look, definitely Google. There are some in grade 10 and 11, but most of them are in grade 12 that you have to worry about applying.
But from grade 9, they can start planning, right?
Yeah, exactly. So it's always good to start planning ahead. So you can definitely start planning even though you can't apply.
Mr. Jyoti, Sophia, for the nice presentation, and also congratulations. One question I would like to ask, as a parent or like also as a student, maybe it looks like there are two steps. Like one is for the nomination from your school, and then it goes to Schulich. So for the nomination for the school, what things that you think that was helpful for you to get that nomination in the beginning?
I think if you build good relationships with the staff, like if you actively participate in class, you're answering questions, asking questions, then that'll kind of give the staff an idea that like, oh, this student is like an engaged student and they want to learn. Or if you do clubs in your school that you're interested in and you do a good job, then you will kind of have like a good reputation. And then because of that, I don't know if that's exactly why I was nominated. It really depends. There's so many different factors. And again, like grades are important. So like be a good student, but again, not always everyone with the highest grade is chosen. Like I do know people who said that like, yeah, they weren't valedictorian of their high school, but they still got nominated for Schulich. So it's just try to be not just a good student, but like an active citizen in your school. That'll help you stand out a little bit more.
Thank you.
Shachiti, I would like to add one experience also. One of my another Batiji, okay, from Calgary, shared that she used to the lunch time. She usually go to the front office, ask the receptionist, you can take your lunch, I can reply the answers. And yeah, she was working in the lunch time, and they also she got the Schulich scholarship from Calgary. 7-8 years ago. So that is leadership, right? Ask something to the teacher, right? Who is responsible, who knows the things. Then they provide, I think, a recommendation.
Yeah. So I think the lesson from that is just try to be your authentic self and, like be a nice person, and with like not just your teachers, but like your classmates and everything, and just have kind of like build relationships. That doesn't necessarily mean you have to go and answer calls during, it's great that she did that, but just for any high school students listening, doesn't necessarily mean you have to spend your lunches answering calls. I never did anything like that. I spent my lunches eating lunch with my friends. But yeah, the lesson from that is if like don't sell yourself short, because I think it's always good to be humble, but there's a difference between that and like not showing like your full capabilities. So I think if you try to like appropriately show what you're capable of and everything, then like teachers and stuff will get an idea of what kind of a student you are, if that makes sense. Yeah. just building that reputation. Does your PAT affect your scholarship? No, I didn't write PATs in grade 9 because there was COVID during grade 9 in my grade 9 year. That's when COVID started. So I didn't write PATs. And then the last PATs I wrote were in grade 6. They did not look at my PAT marks. So obviously I'm not saying do bad on your PATs, try your best, do your best. But when you're in grade 12 applying for big scholarships, your grade 9 standardized exam marks are not really going to matter.
Perfect. I think I see there's one comment, right? I think from his sister.
Oh yeah, my sister said, yeah, so my sister won a literature-based scholarship in grade 8. So there's other stuff like that because scholarships won't always have money. Like I've won scholarships that don't have money attached to it, and that is fine. It's just for the prestige and it's for the name, and it's an honor. It's an honor to get it. I'm not sure my sister's scholarship, I don't know if that one had a monetary value or not, but yeah, like if a scholarship doesn't have a monetary value, still apply to it. Like there's nothing wrong with having another scholarship to your name. It's not everything has to have monetary value. Sometimes it's just for an honor to receive it. Your high school diploma exams and or IB diploma exam grades can contribute to getting entrance scholarships in university. That is true. So I didn't take full IB, I took partial, and I only used my Alberta high school grades, and I did get multiple entrance scholarships exams. So if you do have high averages, when I applied to university in grade 12, I did early admission. So I used my grade 11 grades. And as long as my grade 12 grades after I got in were similar to my grade 11 grades, or like there wasn't a significant decrease, I was allowed to stay in my program. So I used my grade 11 grades, and because they were high, I got entrance scholarships for that. And if you are an IB student, you can also use your grades for that and get additional scholarships. Yeah, and my sister is saying in the comments that the literature scholarship in grade 8 she's talking about, it did have a monetary value, but there are lots of other awards that she got that didn't have monetary value, but were still valuable nonetheless. Like just because a scholarship doesn't have money attached to it doesn't mean it's any less.
Okay.
Were you personally associated with clubs during high school term? Do you think it aids in building charisma and social skills that may be relevant when applying for scholarships? Are there more effective strategies? I would say join clubs for sure. Clubs in high school are fun, and they're a great way to build leadership skills that you can write about on your resume, and you may be able to write about for scholarship applications. I did a few. So I did Model UN in grade 10. However, it was online, so I didn't continue in grade 11 and 12. So that's an example of like, if you're not enjoying something, don't continue it. And then a few others where I was like an active member of the club, or I was like on one of the boards for a club, for the Interact Club, because it interested me. So I think high school clubs are definitely great to join. You don't have to join a billion, like join one if you can. And if you can't join any, there's other places outside of your high school, there's things to join. But it definitely does help with social skills and leadership skills. And especially in high school, you really want to start learning how to network and meet people. That's going to be very important in university. And if you win big scholarships, like I had a networking event, I think 2 weeks ago for Schulich, where it was everyone from all the Schulich leaders who've won in the past, I think 10 years or something, from University of Calgary, University of Alberta, and University of Saskatchewan. We had a conference at the University of Alberta, so I spent the whole day meeting people and networking, and it was really great. And I think because of the skills I built in high school with learning how to talk to people, that helped me a lot. Do you have any other recommendations for scholarships other than Schulich? If you talk to your high school guidance counselor, they'll tell you to apply to the big three: Schulich, Loran, and TD. Other than that, look into scholarships specific for the university you want to go to. So for U of A, look at entrance scholarships for that. Some are application based where you have to like write an application. Some you get automatically based on your grades. Other than that, you just have to Google. A lot of Googling.
Yes.
Do the universities look more at your class grades or at your diploma exam grades? What would you say? They look at your averages for your class. So when I was applying for engineering a year ago, actually, like in fall 2022, when I was in grade 12, I used my grade 11 marks. So you have your class average and then you have your diploma mark. And then with that combined, you're going to have your overall class, your overall grade for that class. And that's what they're going to look at. Do you think the quality or quantity of clubs is more important? Definitely quality, definitely quality. It is so much better to do one club and be invested in it and try your best in it than do a bunch of clubs and just be like a member who like kind of just goes for the meetings and doesn't really do anything. Like the clubs I was a part of in high school, it was I made sure that I was actively participating as much as I could and contributing as much as I could. And any club that I wanted to join, but I felt like it would have kind of it would have been like me going to the club meeting, just sitting there and then leaving. Like I didn't join any clubs like that because you really want to think about the impact of the clubs you join rather than just the name to put on your resume. Can you still apply to scholarships here if you're planning to do university abroad? I'm not sure. You're going to have to Google that. I'm not sure. I know for Schulich, if you win it, you have to stay enrolled at the university in the program that you won it from. So I have to stay enrolled at engineering in the University of Alberta. I'm sure there's scholarships for international students, but I'm staying in Canada for undergraduate at least, so I'm not sure about that. If you get a really high diploma exam mark, are you able to get a scholarship for that? In grade 12, there's actually a scholarship. I'm not sure of the name, but so basically there's a scholarship called the Rutherford Scholarship, which at the end of grade 12, if you have, I think, an 80 above average, all 3 years, you get like $2,500. If you have 70 above, it's something else, 60 above something. I'm not exact sure of the numbers, but from the winners of the Rutherford. So this one, you have to apply through like student aid at Alberta Student Aid. But it's not like you just like fill in some information. It's not a long application process. From the Rutherford Scholarship winners, the students who had really high diploma marks, from 5 of their diplomas, there's an additional scholarship that you can get. I don't really know when the information for that comes out. Like I just started first year university and I don't think, from my grade 12 year, anyone has won that yet. Like that takes a while to come out, but you should definitely look into that. It's, I'm not exactly sure of the name, but yeah, so there is a scholarship if you get high diploma marks.
Okay, so almost 50 minutes we took time from Sajyoti. Thank you very much for your contribution, for the information. Hope our students, parents in our community will get benefit from this session and they will motivate to apply, inshallah.
Inshallah.
Yes, I think we are done. But before that, maybe, last week, I think last week or last month, you got another award. Can you say me about just maybe in few sentences? Premier Award, how to apply and...
Okay, Premier. Okay. Again, your high school has to pick somebody. Okay. I think, so for my high school, they sent out a Google form. It's like anyone who's interested in being nominated, fill this out. And I think you just have to write a little essay on why you think you should be chosen, attach your cover letter, same thing. Sorry, not cover letter, your resume, CV. And then they choose you. So I got chosen, and then there was another, and then my guidance counselor who does scholarships sent me like an application form. I had to fill that out. That gets sent in. And then I won, alhamdulillah. And then from there, So that one is still a great honor, no monetary value, but doesn't make it any less valuable. And then from the winners of the Premier Citizen, you can get two other, I think it's like the Alberta Centennial Award and the Queen's Golden Jubilee Medal. My sister won that when she was my age. So only 8 students from all across Alberta win the Queen's Platinum Golden Jubilee Award. So yeah, for Premier, the application process is same. Your school will send something out. If they're not sending anything out, maybe just go and check and be like, hey, are we doing Premier Citizen? They'll choose you, you do an application, and then in a few months, you'll hear from them. Okay, so for my sister's year, sometimes you don't always have to fill out a form. Sometimes they'll just nominate you. For my year, you had to fill out a form.
Your sister is lucky.
Yeah, yeah.
You are a hardworking lady. She's lucky lady.
Both hardworking ladies, but she got a little lucky. She didn't have to do an extra form.
Okay, Shajuti, thank you very much again.
Thank you.
Good luck.
Thank you so much. I hope this was helpful. It was nice chatting with everyone. It was nice meeting you, Ankil. Thank you. Okay. Assalamualaikum, everybody.
Salam.